Well, I am so scared right now. I just played a fucked up game slash ROM called Conker's Worst Fur Day. Anyway, I guess I should tell you my story. When I was younger, I owned an N64, and for my birthday I got a game called Conker's Bad Fur Day. It was a game meant for adults due to swearing, blood, nudity, sexual reference, etc. But my parents just saw the cover and thought, oh, this looks like a cute game, perfect for our son's birthday. My parents probably got a used copy of the game. That's probably why they didn't see the rating, because it was smaller on the cartridge. Anyway, I used to love that game. I did not tell my parents about it because I knew they would return it right away if they found out. I loved playing through it and I laughed a lot. I guess I would have laughed more if I understood the jokes a little bit better beforehand. Okay, so earlier today I was watching a YouTube video about Sonic, and I came across a video called Eggman is the Great Mighty Pooh. I knew I've heard that somewhere. Then I saw something called Conker's Bad Fur Day, Great Mighty Pooh. Okay, so after seeing this, I thought, hey, I remember this game. Suddenly I felt an extremely big urge to play the game. I had already had an emulator, the N64 emulator, Project 64, which I used to relive games like Mario 64 and Zelda, and etc. So I googled Conker ROM exactly like that. After I hit I'm feeling lucky, I don't remember the site's name because I wanted to play the game so bad. It opened a near blank page with just a download button that said Conker's Worst Fur Day.zip. I know that sounds dumb, that I didn't notice that the name was odd, but I clicked the button anyway. It began to download. When it was done, I started playing. It didn't open with the cute jumping N64 logo like usually, and Conker cutting it in half with the chainsaw. Instead, it started with a gray squirrel, like the ones from the bar at the main menu, running into a poorly lit room. Then a mangled, bloody, wounded Conker appeared behind him and sawed him in half with a chainsaw, spilling guts, bones, etc. everywhere. Then Conker looked at the screen with his torn up bloody face and said, "You're in for hell, fucker." The voice of Conker seemed off. It was a lot deeper and the audio quality was very bad. The strange thing was that in Conker the word fuck is censored, but in this ROM it wasn't. I didn't realize this at first, and damn, that was a bad idea to keep going with the ROM. Anyway, the game started with Conker entering the bar as usual, but instead of the menu showing up, when Conker entered the bar, all you could hear was loud, eerie, depressing moaning. I instantly turned down the volume because I am very paranoid of certain sounds. Moaning relates to incidents that dates back to my childhood and a scary movie. Then out of under the door of the bar, blood started seeping through and mixing into the puddle of the rain. Then the screen faded out to black. Then it showed the beginning area where you start the game and where you have the hangover. Finally, I can play, I thought. That was not a good thing. Anyway, I started, but there was no cutscene, and Conker was fine. I pressed the B button and Conker swung a chainsaw, then put it away. Cool, I get a chainsaw instead of a fucking frying pan. Anyway, I jumped the fence to speak to Birdie, but when I walked up to him, Conker looked at him and said, "Hey, shithead, give me some help." The Birdie's scarecrow looked at him and said, "Why the fuck do you need anything? You know how to play, moron." What the fuck, I thought. I just took a breath and continued. It was true. I learned the controls by running around a bit before talking to Birdie. Then Conker looked at Birdie and said, "You fucking shithole, I'll cut your fucking head off." Then a light bulb appeared above Conker's head. I pressed B and then the game entered a cutscene. It was very dark for some reason, and the place was only illuminated by the constant of lightning flashes. Anyhow, the game just flashed a picture of Conker killing Birdie with his chainsaw. Then the same Conker voice said, "Rotten hell, fucker." Although the game showed the dark room after, Conker suddenly appeared in the black area. Then I got to play again. I noticed that this was the same place where Birdie was, but Birdie was gone now. I made my way up the mountain path, but the gargoyle was not there. And for some odd reason, there was a strange hissing noise in the background. So I headed into the cave. I was expected to appear in a bright, happy field with a nasty or nice fork in the road. But instead, Conker entered the path up to the haunted house. I walked up there, but I forgot about the skeleton snakes and got attacked by one. But instead of being chewed up and spit out, it showed the snake put Conker on the ground and start mauling him, biting him over and over, revealing his guts and bones, and I started spilling out. Then the skeleton snake let out a demonic cry, then jumped out of the road and dug back into the ground. I was waiting for the game to restart, but back at the checkpoint, like it usually would, but instead it showed a really hurt, bloody, wounded Conker in a seemingly endless room filled with zombies, like from the graveyard level. It showed Conker on the ground, guts, blood, etc., lying all around him. Then it showed his face. I got so shocked from the scene. I turned around to let my stomach settle a bit. And I looked back at the cut up, bloody Conker face. He was missing his eyes, and it showed empty sockets. Then after he let out a moan, he said, "You never know a good thing until it is gone." When Conker said gone, it was so loud and terrifying I shut the sound off. The sound startled me so badly I nearly pissed myself, so I ran to the bathroom and returned. The screen showed Conker being devoured by endless amounts of zombies. Then when all that was left to Conker was his head, a disturbing look on his face. The zombies faced the screen and started walking toward it. Then I tried pressing B. When I did, a shotgun was pulled out. The game seemed like a first-person shooter, sort of like Halo, if you can imagine. I pressed Z and it fired off a shot at the zombies. I remember that in Conker, zombies must get shot in the head to die. So I killed them one by one until there were no more. Suddenly, the Conker head began to moan a little bit. So I ran over, knowing I would have to see the head, but I felt like I had to do it. The screen showed Conker's lying there, and he said, Don't be like me. Learn to love and don't love money. Be kind, promise me. You will do this." The game didn't do anything, and by now I had tears running down my face, and I nodded my head. Then Conker's let out one last gasp and said, "Good." Now it sounded like Conker. Then the screen darkened out and the emulator closed itself. Then I deleted the ROM and turned off my computer. Even now I can still hear his voice echoing in the back of my head. But I know that ROM was a message to me. I used to be greedy. I was a porn addict, and etc. So let it also be a message to you, okay? I've recently found an update that I need to report. I tried to return to the site that had the ROM on it, but I managed to get the ROM out of the recycling bin. I can only get a screenshot of the ROM for some reason. When I try to load the ROM, I get a window that says error, attempt to open zip file failed, missing, or corrupt zip file. Check paths and files. You may need to restart the application. I tried to extract the file, but that didn't work, so I got onto my new computer, and it still doesn't work. I am not going to upload the ROM either. Nobody deserves to go through